That her internal vulnerability feels justifiable? Women are wired to ritualize intimacy. Before they allow full emotional or physical access, they need to frame the moment as intentional. And adjusting the environment helps her bridge that internal gap. Here's the trap. If you interpret her behavior as performance or awkwardness, you'll break the energy, you'll comment, tease, or interrupt her rhythm, and that throws her back into self-consciousness. The high-value move is presence, stillness. You let her manage the space while you remain grounded, because when you stay relaxed while she adjusts the room, you're signaling, I'm already comfortable in this space, and I don't need you to perform. That creates the exact polarity. Her nervous system craves. She's not seeking approval, she's seeking permission to let go. When you don't rush, comment, or control, she doesn't just feel accommodated, she feels allowed. And when a woman feels allowed, she surrenders without resistance. 6. She asks, if you're always like this, because she's registering emotional dominance. This one flies under the radar. She'll ask it, casually smiling, maybe after a sarcastic comment. Or a moment where you didn't flinch under pressure. Are you always like this? Most guys take it as a compliment, some take it as a joke, but what she's really doing is trying to define your baseline. She's testing to see whether the man she's experiencing right now is who you always are, because women don't just want attractive behavior, they want predictable identity, and that phrase, are you always like this, is her subconscious probing for that exact thing. Here's the hidden wiring. Sexual surrender requires trust, not in a romantic way, but in a biological way. Her body and nervous system need to feel that the man she's drawn to won't become someone else after she lets down her guard. So when she asks that question, she's scanning for congruence. The mistake most guys make, they play into it. They say, haha, no, I'm just feeling confident today, or depends on who I'm with. That answer tells her your confidence is conditional, which tells her she's managing the moment. But if you look her in the eye and say, yeah, I don't do versions, or what you see is what you get even when no one's looking, that lands differently. That tells her you're not peaking. You're consistent. It doesn't matter if she agrees with you or not. She's not looking for compatibility. She's looking for emotional gravity, and men who are grounded in their identity create that gravity effortlessly when you anchor yourself. Here she doesn't just flirt. She imagines resting in your presence, and that's the precursor to intimacy. 7. She slows her speech or lowers her voice because she's syncing with your tempo. Watch closely. You're in a conversation and suddenly she starts speaking more slowly. Her voice gets softer. The pauses between her words stretch out just a little longer. She's not being polite. She's not mirroring your tone. She's experiencing parasympathetic arousal, a shift in nervous system state that opens her up to deeper intimacy. A woman's voice isn't just communication. It's an extension of her subconscious state. When she's stressed or disinterested, she talks fast, deflects, and avoids silences. But when she feels sexually drawn to a man, not just intellectually but somatically, her system slows down to match his. This is evolutionary in high-trust mating environments. A slower tempo signals non-threat. It tells her body you're not in a performance loop, you can let go. If a man talks fast, jokes too much, or tries to keep the energy up, her system can't regulate. But when a man speaks from his diaphragm with calm, authority, minimal verbal filler, and unhurried pacing, her nervous system sinks, and that's when her vocal tone starts to drop. The key is to stay centered. Don't mirror her softness. Hold your tone. Let silence stretch. Let her speak into it, because the more you create space, the more her body associates you with regulation, not stimulation. And here's the psychological advantage once a woman starts feeling regulated by you, she doesn't question her arousal. It bypasses logic and becomes embodied. When you hold this tempo, she doesn't just slow her voice, she starts surrendering through it. 8. She asks who you can't stand because she wants to locate your masculine edge. It's subtle. You're deep into a conversation and she throws it out. Is there anyone you just can't stand? This isn't gossip, it's not venting, it's psychological excavation. She's not looking for names. She's searching for your moral boundary lines. What offends your masculine code? What violates your standards? What triggers you to draw a hard line? Because here's the truth. Most men never realize polarity thrives not in kindness, but in certainty. Women aren't attracted to men who agree with everyone. They're drawn to men who discriminate with clarity, not in a judgmental way, but in a standards-based way. So when you say, I can't stand people who manipulate behind politeness, or I lose respect for men who fold when it gets uncomfortable, you're broadcasting the kind of man you refuse to be. That's power now. Most guys default to vague answers. I try not to judge people, or everyone's got their own stuff. That sounds mature, but it leaks signal. It tells her you haven't decided what you're about. And if you haven't decided what you're about, you're not yet fully a man. When you speak with emotional precision, draw clear lines, and do it without heat, you become emotionally predictable. And that's when her arousal becomes safe to access. 9. She asks about your childhood. not to understand your past, but to map your evolution. She'll say it with curiosity. What were you like growing up? Or were you always like this? But this isn't nostalgia. This is psychological recon. She wants to track your arc from boy to man, from unformed identity to anchored presence, because here's the raw truth. Female sexual arousal is directly linked to male transformation. She wants to know what forged you. Not so she can fix you, but so she can feel the contrast between who you were and who you've become. That contrast tells her if you've faced hardship, if you fought your weakness, if you've walked through pain without outsourcing the cleanup. She's not looking for drama, she's looking for depth. Most men blow this opportunity. They either trauma dump sounding like they haven't healed, or they dodge, saying nothing special, normal kid. Both responses break tension. The powerful response you share. One defining contrast calmly. I used to be too agreeable. Didn't speak up, learned fast that silence can cost you everything. That answer tells her you've lived, you've lost, and more importantly, you've chosen a new code. That's the mark of evolution, and here's why it works. When a woman sees your arc, she starts imagining her role in your future. When you share your arc without ego or apology, she doesn't just see a man, she sees a mission 10. She asks if she makes you nervous because she wants to feel your unshakable center.
You're not just saying, you're smart, you're saying, I enjoy the way you think. That's rare, that's intimate, that's unforgettable. This is the kind of compliment that feels warm, present, and sincere. It says, I'm not distracted, I'm not just killing time. I'm here with you, and it means something. Women get attention all the time. But presence, that's a luxury. When you tell her you feel lucky to be in conversation with her, not just lucky to look at her or sleep with her, she immediately knows this man is different. This compliment tells her, I value your time. I don't take this lightly. You being here is meaningful, not just convenient. And the best part, it doesn't try to impress, it expresses. And that's what women crave more than game or charm. Authentic expression from a grounded man. Most women are told they're beautiful when they're performing, when they're dressed up, wearing makeup and heels, on Instagram. But their deepest desire is to feel beautiful without effort, without the need to look on, without needing validation. This compliment tells her, your beauty isn't conditional. It's not earned through filters, poses, or effort. It's something you radiate just by being you. It's especially powerful when said during a quiet, casual moment. No glamour, no lights, no audience. When she's in a hoodie, when her hair is messy, when she's real. That's when it lands, because you're reminding her, you don't need to try, you just need to be. And that's the kind of reassurance she didn't even know she needed. 2 words, massive impact. In a world of constant comparison, social media, dating apps, competition, a woman rarely feels one of a kind. She's told she's attractive. She's told she's sweet. But rarely is she told, you're not like the rest. You stand apart. When you tell a woman she's rare, she doesn't just feel good. She feels validated in her uniqueness. You're saying, you're not just desirable, you're irreplaceable. There's something about you that I don't see anywhere else. And I see everyone that makes her feel chosen, seen, special, not for fitting in, but for standing out. Use this compliment when you're truly present, when you feel it in your gut, because when said authentically, it echoes in her heart for a long time. This is a compliment about impact. Not noise, not drama, but subtle, powerful presence. It tells her, you don't need to fight for attention. You shift the room by being yourself. Your energy carries weight. You influence the space around you. This isn't a surface-level flattery about how she looks. It's a compliment about her essence. She could be quiet, graceful, introverted. And this still lands because it's about the vibe she carries, the frequency she brings. And when you say this, you're honoring her power. Not the power to impress, the power to transform the moment. The most powerful compliments aren't about attraction, they're about recognition. They don't say, you're hot, they say, I see you. They don't inflate her ego. They speak to her spirit. Because women aren't starving for attention. They're starving to be understood. And when you speak from presence, not performance, when you drop the tactics, the flirty lines, the need to impress, and just tell the truth about what you notice in her, you'll open doors that no amount of game ever could. You don't need to be poetic. You just need to be aware, because awareness is rare. And a woman who feels seen, truly seen, never forgets the man who saw her. If those 8 compliments spoke to something inside you, it's because you're not like most men. Most guys are stuck on the surface, repeating what they've heard, copying what they think works, hoping that flattery will get them somewhere. But you're not here to flatter. You're here to see. And that's what separates a man who chases validation from a man who radiates value, because when you give a woman a compliment that speaks to her depth, when you notice what others ignore, when you say something real, something grounded, something present, you don't just make her feel good, you make her feel safe, seen, cherished, without needing to perform for it. That's rare. And that's exactly what we build here on Stow Extreme. So, if this resonated with you, if you're the kind of man who doesn't just want to date women, but to understand them, lead them, and connect with them on a level that most men will never reach, subscribe right now. This isn't just a channel. It's a discipline. A reminder that masculinity isn't about dominance. It's about depth. Envelope with arrow. Drop a comment below. Which of these 8 compliments hit the hardest for you? Which are you going to use? From a place of grounded truth, not performance, and if you take one thing from this video, let it be this: the strongest man in the room is rarely the loudest. He's the one who sees what no one else sees and speaks only when it matters. Become that man. Stay grounded. Stay rare. Stay untouchable. This is So Extreme. And we're just getting started. This compliment is subtle yet incredibly powerful because it speaks directly to a woman's internal strength. Something that often goes unnoticed by others. We live in a world that celebrates loud, flashy confidence, the kind that demands attention and tries to be the loudest in the room. But real confidence doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to boast or dominate. When you tell her, "You've got this quiet confidence about you," you're acknowledging the depth of her self-assurance that doesn't shout. It's the kind of confidence that radiates from within. The kind that comes from knowing who you are, not needing to prove anything to anyone. It's a compliment that makes her feel seen for more than just her outward appearance. You're telling her, you're not just trying to be something you're not. You're comfortable in your skin. And that confidence is magnetic when you say this. It's about recognizing the inner power that she carries, often in silence. And that's something that every woman craves to hear. Even though she might never ask for it directly, this compliment is about recognizing the impact her presence has on the people around her. It goes beyond the superficial and taps into the way she makes others feel. Everyone has a certain energy, but some people's energy is magnetic. It lights up the room without even trying. When you say, "You have such an infectious energy," you're giving her credit for the positive influence she has on those around her. It's about recognizing that she has the power to shift the mood in a room, to bring joy, warmth, and life into even the most mundane situations. It's not just about her looks or how she dresses. It's about the way she carries herself, the way she makes others feel when they're in her presence. This compliment is not just a reflection of how she appears to the outside world. It's an acknowledgement of the energy that she exudes from within. And that's one of the rarest and most powerful compliments you can give. One of the most attractive qualities in a woman is her resilience. Life throws challenges at everyone, but not everyone handles them with grace. When you notice how she faces adversity, tackles obstacles head-on, and doesn't shy away from challenges, you're not just admiring her ability to overcome, you're recognizing the strength and tenacity that she brings to the table. By telling her, "I admire the way you embrace challenges," you're showing that you respect her inner fortitude and determination. You're acknowledging her growth, her courage, and her ability to handle the tough moments in life without folding under pressure. It's a deep compliment that speaks to her strength. And every woman wants a man who admires her resilience rather than just her beauty or charm. This compliment speaks directly to her influence. Some people have the ability to uplift everyone around them, whether through their kindness, intellect, or just their very presence. When you say, "You make everyone around you better," you're not just acknowledging her kindness or her efforts. You're recognizing her capacity to inspire and elevate others. It's about recognizing that she's a positive force in the lives of others. That she doesn't just exist in a room but enhances the lives of those fortunate enough to interact with her. This is a rare compliment because it's not about her looks or how she makes you feel. It's about how she impacts the world. And especially how she impacts the people she cares about. Women love being told that they have a lasting, positive effect on the world around them. It's not just about being loved or admired. It's about knowing that they are contributing something meaningful to the lives of others. This is a compliment that speaks to her heart, her soul, and her purpose. A woman's perspective on the world is one of the most unique and valuable things about her. It's shaped by her experiences, her values, her dreams, and her fears. When you tell a woman, "I admire how you see the world," you're acknowledging that her thoughts, opinions, and worldview matter. It's not just about agreeing with everything she says or validating her opinions. It's about recognizing that her viewpoint is unique, complex, and valuable. Women are often taught to shrink their opinions or to be more agreeable. But the truth is, a woman's voice or perspective is powerful when you acknowledge this. You're showing her that you respect her as an individual, as someone whose thoughts and feelings hold weight. This is a compliment that digs deep into her heart, into her mind, and shows her that you truly see and appreciate the whole of who she is, not just the surface. In a world that often values toughness and self-interest, a woman's compassion can be one of her most beautiful qualities. When you tell her, "You inspire me to be more compassionate," you're acknowledging the gentle strength she carries, the way she sees the needs of others, how she gives without expecting anything in return, and how she makes the world a better place simply by caring. Compassion is one of the most powerful qualities a person can possess, and when a man recognizes that in a woman, it shows that he's deeply aware of what makes her special. You're not just admiring her beauty or her intelligence. You're admiring her ability to connect with others, to feel with them, to empathize with them, and to act on those feelings. It's a compliment that goes straight to her soul, and it shows her that you recognize her ability to make the world a better place. These powerful compliments speak to the heart of what makes a woman truly unique: her energy, her strength, her mind, and her essence. When you compliment her from a place of presence, not performance, you create a deep and lasting connection. This is not about impressing her, it's about seeing her, recognizing the rare and beautiful aspects of who she is, and speaking them into existence. By learning how to give compliments that come from a place of genuine awareness, you set yourself apart from the rest. You're not trying to win her over. You're honoring her, and in doing so, you become unforgettable. So take these compliments, use them with presence, and watch as the connections you make become deeper, stronger, and more meaningful than ever before.